are the AMOEBAs. These are my team members. This is Vienna, aka Jackie. This is Pat, aka Bryce. This is Brittany as herself. And I am Mimi, and I'm going to be the videographer.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the brewing industry as a whole, particularly Firestone Brewery. Firestone Brewery is one of the local breweries who have capitalized on the market where people are demanding more homegrown beers. It is one of many sellers in the area that's doing this, and others include
some of the other local breweries that are capitalizing on the same trend are Tappet, Central Coast, Slow Brewing, Figueroa Mountain, Creekside Brewing, Barrel House, Dunbar, and Bang the Drum, which is a newer one.
So this shows that the market share in this local industry is split up in such a way between these local breweries that each have the potential to grow and be successful in it. So that's going to lead this local industry somewhere between pure competition and monopolistic competition. And so the next thing that we're going to be looking at is ease of entry and exit. And Brittany, what are the conditions?
It's relatively easy to get into the brewing industry. Some conditions involved would be obtaining the brewing license, which is free. Where you're going to start racking up some sort of cost is when you start purchasing brewing equipment that can put you into thousands of dollars in debt.
And so what this shows is that it's not the easiest way to get into the industry. It has some costs associated with that. So that's going to cancel out the possibility of this being a pure competition. And now it's going to be leaning towards more monopolistic competition. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the industry to see whether it has standardized or differentiated product. And to do that, we're going to look at the Firestone beer list. Vanna, would you like to read it off?
Okay, Pat. So we have Double Barrel Ale, Pale 31, Union Jack, Pivo, Easy Jack, Velvet Merlin, that's my favorite, Oktoberfest, Opal, Double Jack, Wonky Jack, Parabola, Eldorado, Brava, and etc. because there's many more.
And these are all ales that Firestone serve. Some are seasonal and some are throughout the year, but each one are differentiated from one another, and that proves that they're serving differentiated products. And this is common throughout the local industry, and if we look at other local breweries, they're doing the same. Okay, so everything that we've shown so far has led us to believe that Firestone is a monopolistic competitive firm. But now we're going to be looking at whether it's a price maker or a price taker. And to do that, we're going to be looking at what it charges for its ales.
All right.
Vanna?
So for its Double Jack, it's $7.99. For its Walker XP II, it's $24.99.
That's 18. So with that information, we know that Firestone has some pricing power, and that makes it a
Price maker.
Everything that we've looked at so far has shown that locally, Firestone is operating in a monopolistic competitive industry. However, if we look at the beer industry throughout the United States, we find that that's not the case. And Firestone makes much less than 1% of all U.S. sales of beer. And if we look over here at the top 4 brewing companies based on market share, Vanna, would you like to talk about them and the percentages? Everybody?
Okay, so there's AB and Bev. It owns about 47.8%. Miller Coors owns 28.9%. Crown Imports owns 5.3%, and Heineken owns 4.0%.
And this shows that the beer industry in the United States is an oligopoly because the top 2 companies have about 80% of market share. So that would lead us to believe that this is an oligopoly that we're working in. And what Firestone is operating in now is a trend of local beers that have become popular, but that's not the case in the wide scheme of things. So what will happen because of what's going on here is Firestone will be competing with more and more local breweries that are trying to mimic its product. And because of that, it's going to create a lot of substitutes, so a decrease in demand. And following from where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, we're going to find its new price to stay competitive in the industry. And in time, what would happen is new firms entering the industry will spread out the market share so much that it will result in an economic loss when demand is below the average total cost curve. And that is represented here. And in the long run, what will happen is firms will leave the industry, which will allow Firestone to generate a normal profit.
Thank you for watching our video. Bryce is out of breath and woo! Amigas!
Alright.
Okay, how do I even like...
I don't know. That's good.
Beautiful.
Alright.
Oh my god, it hurt. Okay.
Oh, we're good.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So we still.
So,
Whether it has standardized or differentiated products. And to do that, we're going to be looking at the Firestone beer list. Vanna, would you like to read it off?
okay, Pat. So, we have the...
Come on.
Can we keep that in there? Okay, we have the